Shalom, this is Gabash Bar Yasharala. Before I hop into today's lesson, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to the Most High in the name of His Son, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, in the true Paleo Hebrew tongue. Kal, Halayim, La, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ha, Rakah, Kodash, Ma'amaf. I want to give a double honor to the apostles, the elders of GMS who rule well and teach well. I want to give a double honor to my elder as well, Ahira Ban Yasharala of the Lions Den camp here in Jacksonville, Florida. And I want to say shalom to the Akim according to the globe, pushing the truth and sincerity. And with that being said, this lesson is going to be just an in general topic of the spiritual warfare that we fight. So, the fight that we're fighting is spiritual. It's not an actual combat, like a physical combat that we, like get the strap and, go out here and fight physically. It's spiritual, meaning that we're going to be tried mentally. We're going to be tried according to our faith in Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. And we have to fight spiritually to achieve the victory, meaning we have to trust in Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. We have to abide according to His ways in the wicked world. Go against the grain, the ways of this place. And that's how we show ourselves to be worthy of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, by shining His light in this dark place. No matter how much this place tries to put your light out, no matter how much this world or, tries to pull you back into its darkness. And, not only do we fight the wickedness, fight against the wickedness of this place spiritually, but we have to conquer this flesh, overcome this flesh that we're in, And the fight that we fight starts within, because we have to change ourselves. We have to get this flesh in line with the spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. This flesh is just as corrupt and polluted as this world, because this flesh is of this world. And this flesh wants to go back into the dust that it came from. But the spirit wants to return to Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. So we have to remember what our end goal is, to be returned to Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. Not to allow ourselves to become like the return into the world. Because this place has a judgment coming. This world has a judgment coming. The orderly arrangement of this world. Because this world is arranged and ordered according to wickedness. But just to get into it, this is Ephesians 6:10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in Yahweh and in the power of His might. Put on the whole armor of Yahweh, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore, take unto you the whole armor of Yahweh, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, having done all to stand. So we got to be strong in Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai and the power that He instilled within us, within the things that He taught us, within the foundation that He set us on. We got to be strong in that. We can't let anybody deter our faith. We can't let anything make us feel ashamed of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. We got to be strong in Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. Because that's the spirit that He gave us, the spirit of power, love, and a sound mind. There's no other solid foundation you can stand on but that of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. So we're to be strong in that. And we're to put on His spirit. He gave us armor to put on in this fight, to be able to withstand the wiles of the devil, the temptations, just the temptations in general that'll try to pull us back in the world, that'll try to deter our faith. We overcome these things. We're more than overcomers through Him that loved us. And who loves us? Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. And that's the love we want. We don't want the love of this world, because everything in this place is temporary, corrupt, and polluted. Even the love of this place. You might get a female that love you for a moment. You might get a homeboy that's rocking with you for a minute. You might get a dog, or anything, a car. All these things are temporary. These things might be there for you for a moment, but it won't last forever. A job, anything that you could trust in this place is temporary, corrupt, and polluted. And if you allow it, these things will pull you away from Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. So we're to put on the spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, because that's how we overcome the wiles of the devil. Because he'll give you something to distract you from Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And then, meanwhile, you're losing sight of the Lord, being pulled away from him. And then when that thing when it's time for you to have that possession, that thing, that friendship, that whatever, when it comes to an end, you'll realize how separate you've become from Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, how far you let that thing pull you astray. But if we stay focused on Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, we can obtain these same things, but we'll have the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to stay focused on him and not let that thing corrupt our mindset, not to cloud our judgment, our thought process. Because as long as we're focused on Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, that thought process is pure. But when we allow, the scripture says that too, a gift destroyeth the heart. So if you making friends with this world, whether it be a person, place, or a thing, they're showing enmity towards the Lord. We're to keep the Lord as our first and foremost primary objective. Serve him, make sure his business is handled. Make sure that spiritual man is tended to. Everything else is secondary. After the Lord business handled, then you go check on your car, your girl, your homeboys, your friends, your house, this, that, and the third. Because the Lord will make a man's ways prosperous. Reverend paraphrasing scripture, I can't remember exactly how it go, but the Lord will make a man prosperous in all his ways as long as he handling the Lord's business, and we're to keep that in mind. He'll protect you from the wiles of the devil, these temptations and these things the devil tempt us with. And we're not wrestling against flesh and blood again, like we're fighting the fight of faith. We're in spiritual warfare. We're not going out here like the Black Panthers and the Civil Rights Movement and all these other rebellions in general. This isn't a physical fight that we're to fight. The fight that we fight is spiritual. We're fighting against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. These are the things that we're fighting against. The powers of this place, the orderly arrangements of this place, and those pumping out darkness into the world, further polluting and corrupting it, leading it astray down that path of destruction. Because that's what this place is ultimately destined to, destruction. And those following behind the ways of this place, they're the ones going to receive that judgment along with it, because Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is going to cast out all darkness of this world, all wickedness. And the only thing left standing is going to be his foundation. And so with that being said, what side are you to be on? Where should your mindset be? It should be with Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Because our people, the 2/3 of our people, they're like 3 little pigs. They run from house to house, foundation to foundation, looking for rest, comfort, sustainment, and all these things. But Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai keep blowing these other foundations down. Only those running into that solid foundation, that house made out of brick, with Yahweh Shai being the chief cornerstone, those are the only ones that are going to be safe. Ultimately, in the day of judgment. Because Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is going to send a destroying wind to this place. And all wickedness is going to be wiped off the face of the earth. So we're to take on the whole armor of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, the gear that he told us to put on, but ultimately that being his spirit. And that's the only way we'll be able to withstand the evil day, having done all to stand. Because when we stay focused on Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, we're striving according to his spirit, we like soldiers in the army, we increase in rank. When you first enlist in the military, it doesn't matter what branch, your uniform is blank. You don't have any ribbons, no awards, no medals, no this, that, and the third, no anything except for your name. But the more work you put in, the more you increase in rank. The more the Lord increase your wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. The more the Lord will show forth you to be a vessel of light. The stronger he'll make you. And ultimately, he's preparing us for the day of judgment. And our works, we're going to be justified according to our faith and our works. Versus the 2/3 of our people, they won't have any works to show forth. They haven't even enlisted. So they don't have the armor on, the uniform, the covering on to begin with, to show themselves worthy of anything but judgment. But us, again, we're doing all we can to show ourselves worthy of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. We're fighting day in, day out. We clocked in when we repented to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. There's no turning back. There's no clocking out. There's no breaks, no days off, anything like that. This is, an idle mind is the devil's playground. And as soon as we take our mind off Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, we jogging in place. And that's when the temptations and this, that, and the thirds come to play. And even if we are focused, the same temptations are going to come our way, but we focus on the Lord, they're null and void. Because we're striving according to righteousness. And that temptation is just like a billboard on our path to salvation. But Ephesians 6:14, stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the blessed plate of righteousness, and having your feet shod with the preparations of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, praying always with prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints. So we're to have our loins girded about with truth. The truth being the true gospel of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, his true wisdom, not your understanding, not the lies of this place, the false doctrines. And that's what we gird our loins about with. That's the belt, so to speak. You can't fight a fight with your pants down. And then you look foolish. And that's what the 2/3 of our people are going to get caught with, their pants down. They're going to be caught looking foolish. Because they believe in the lies of this place. They walk around with their ass out, so to speak. Spiritually and physically, how about that? But we have on the breastplate of righteousness. Like, the knights. Like how the knights used to wear that shining armor. That's what that's our breastplate, righteousness. The ways of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. That was protects our spiritual body, like the breastplate does. It protects the body physically. The Lord gave us a spiritual breastplate to put on, his righteousness. And that's what protects the body. That's what keeps it pure, protected in the fight that we fight. And your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. So we're to strive according to the peace of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai to obtain his grace and mercy. That's the path he set us on to walk, the straight gate, narrow way. So we're to put that on as shoes. Because we're striving in righteousness, the ways of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, not the ways of this world. And above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith you shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. So our faith in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is going to keep us in our fight. Because we're saved by our faith and our works. So that shield is one of the most important things we could have. And it's a game called Skyrim. It's like said in medieval times where you have swords. You can have a two-handed sword or like a one-handed sword and a shield, which is my preference in the game. But that shield is important because you can block with the two-handed sword, but it won't have the same, you won't get as many block points. You're not as protected, so to speak, as if you would have had an actual shield to block these attacks, which is why I use it. And in the spiritual fight that we fight, our faith is the most important thing that we have. Because we can have the wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and everything else. But if we don't believe in the word of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, we don't believe in the prophecies to come, we just don't believe in general, we don't have that faith, we're not safe out here because we're saved according to our faith and our works. And when the devil starts tempting you with this, that, and the third, your faith is being tried. And if you don't have that, you're going to fall victim to these fiery darts. And a shield blocks all types of attacks. Swords, arrows, melee weapons. It doesn't matter. As long as you have that shield. And then again, that shield can be used as a weapon because you can bash somebody with it. Just your faith alone is a weapon that you can use in this fight. And we're to take on the helmet of salvation. meaning we should have our minds focused on Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai and obtaining that grace and mercy, being justified and glorified, and ultimately enduring to the end. And the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And that's what we use to fight the fight of faith, the word of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. The weapons of our warfare are carnal. We fight according to his word. We don't go get the strap. We don't need anything out here but the word of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Because that's how we condemn this place. That's how we cast out the darkness. That's how we tear down the strongholds on the minds of our people. With the word of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Not our own words, which is why we go out and we preach the gospel. We bring out the exact book, chapter, and verse that we're reading. So verbatim, the word of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And this is how we rebuke people and ultimately condemn this place. This is how we correct ourselves. You know, things of that nature. And praying always with all prayer and supplication in spirit. And watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints. So we're to constantly be in prayer. You know, 'cause like in the army, in the military in general, you have all the soldiers have an assignment, and there's a soldier whose specific duty is communications. I can't remember the exact word for it, but he's the middleman between the troops on the battlefield and the generals and everybody in the command center back at base or wherever that may be. So we're on the battlefield. We're to keep that communication line open with Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Because when the enemy comes, one of the first things, let's say like America, for instance, when they go somewhere, one of the first things they'll do before they start up an attack, they'll cut that communication line to keep reinforcements from coming. And the devil's the same way. He'll try to pull you away from Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, keep you from praying to him. This, that, and the third, cut that communication line. So you can't call for reinforcement. So you can't ask for correction and direction. You know, you have you out there in the heat of the moment trying to get you to move in haste. But no, we're to stay in that spirit of prayer. Because that's our supplication. That's how we ask for reinforcement. Another word I'm looking for. But yeah, we look for reinforcement. It'll come to me. Through the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Because, you know, we'll get beaten and battered. Fighting the fight. Feel like we're running out of ammunition. Like we're being surrounded. This, that, and the third. But we keep that prayer line open to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. He'll make sure we persevere and endure and overcome ultimately. And with that being said, Yahweh Rock the Zardis List with Zedephine. And until the next time, I'm going to say Shalom.